Hello students, today I am going to discuss shape and orientation of d orbitals. So from the angular momentum quantum number L, we can determine shape of orbital. So from this angular momentum quantum number L, d orbital is going to have value L is equal to 2. And this L is equal to 2 indicates it is double in shape, and here D represents it is diffused. D stands for diffused. Okay, so d orbital from angular momentum quantum number is going to have double shape. And from magnetic quantum number we can determine orientation of the orbital or direction of the d orbital. So to find orientation of d orbital, we need to use the formula 2l plus 1. So as we know from angular momentum quantum number, for d orbital L value will be equal to 2. So if I substitute the L value, so I am going to get 5. So d orbital will orient in 5 directions. So that is 0, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2. So ML value is equal to 0. We have d z square orbital. For ML value plus or minus 1, we have dxz, dyz orbital. And for ML value plus or minus 2, we have 2 d orbitals, that is dx square minus y square and dxy. So from both angular momentum quantum number and magnetic quantum number, we know the shape as well as orientation of the d orbital, and this d orbital orientation will be of two types, that is axial and non-axial. Means the d orbital which orient along the axis, they are axial d orbital, whereas the d orbitals which orient in between the axis, they are called non-axial d orbitals. So if you come for axial d orbitals, we have two axial d orbitals, that is dz square and dx square minus y square. And if you see the non-axial d orbitals, those are dxy, dxz, dyz. So this is on the orientation, whether they are oriented along the axis or in between the axis. So now if you see the shape of axial d orbital, so first I am going to discuss dz square orbital, which is axial d orbital. So this is the shape of dz square, and this dz square orbital is obtained by overlap of two orbitals, that is dx square minus z square and dy square minus z square. So these two orbitals combine to form d2z square minus x square minus y square. So combinedly this is called dz square orbital, which is an axial orbital. And for this dz square orbital, ML value will be 0, that is magnetic quantum number value will be equal to 0, and this dz square orbital will have 8 lobes. Means from this dx square minus z square and from this dy square minus z square, they are going to contribute 8 lobes. And if you see the nodal plane for this dz square orbital will be 2, and this dz square orbital is geroid, that is it is going to have center of inversion. Okay. And next, if you see the next axial d orbital, that is dx square minus y square. So this is the shape how this dx square minus y square orbital is going to orient. And if you look at the important points regarding dx square minus y square, this is an axial d orbital, and its magnetic quantum number will be plus or minus 2, and it is going to have lobes, 4 lobes, and it is going to have 2 nodal planes, and this d orbital is also geroid, that is it is having center of inversion. Next, if we move on to non-axial d orbitals, first non-axial d orbital will be dxy. So this is the shape of dxy orbital, and if you see the properties, important aspects of dxy orbital is it is a non-axial d orbital. Its magnetic quantum number will be equal to plus or minus 2, and it is going to have 4 lobes, and there will be 2 nodal plane, and this dxy orbital is also geroid. Next non-axial d orbital is dxz. So this is the shape of dxz. You see orbitals are oriented in the xz plane. If you see the magnetic quantum number, it is going to have magnetic quantum number plus or minus 1, and number of lobes will be equal to 4 lobes, and nodal plane, this dxz non-axial d orbital is going to have 2 nodes, and this is also a geroid. That is, this dxz orbital is going to possess center of inversion. Non-axial d orbital is dyz. So magnetic quantum number for this dyz non-axial d orbital will be equal to plus or minus 1, and it is going to have 4 lobes, and it is going to have 2 nodal plane, and this orbital is also geroid. That is, it is going to possess center of inversion. So these are the important things regarding shape and orientation of d orbitals. Thank you.